Records being broken here today, not within the continental United States, though. We have to go further to the south. This is Hurricane Iota. We've been watching it here. It was a Category 5 today. It is now weakened as it's just made landfall here, actually. It's a Category 4, making landfall within the past few minutes. You have to get this eye, you have to have half of this eye to be inland. That's happened in Nicaragua right now. This is where Hurricane Ida's path was just 2 weeks ago on our election night. That was 2 weeks ago. And this difference here from where Hurricane Ida made landfall to where Hurricane Iota is currently making landfall as I'm talking to you is a difference of only 15 miles or less. That is unprecedented. This is record-breaking. There are multiple records here tracking all of this. Plus, all right, Emily, here is another look at our Hurricane Iota down in Central America now in the Atlantic. And here's a look at it a little bit closer, and you can see, again, its eye well-defined, starting to weaken a bit as it made landfall. Still a Category 4 hurricane at landfall, but it was recently a Category 5 pretty much all day today. You can see this is where Ida's path was, and then eventually it curved around and went up to Cuba and made 2 landfalls in Florida, actually. And now here is Iota, and they're both meeting within 15 miles of each other. 15 miles, within 2 weeks of each other, 15 miles. Landfall here in Nicaragua as Category 4. Just destructive hurricanes in the exact same area. It is not a good thing. And when we go ahead and look at this, you can see as it continues inland, it's not going to make that curve that Ida made. It will continue straight on towards the west and over into the Pacific eventually. And so when we look at this, there are a lot of records that Iota is continuing on for this Atlantic hurricane season. First of all, it's the 30th named storm of 2020. Second of all, it's the latest Category 5 in a season ever. The previous record was on November 8th, back in the 1930s. The first November now with 2 major hurricanes, Ida and Iota. Also, when we look, 2020 is now the 5th consecutive year with a Category 5 hurricane. It's never happened before. We've never had 5 consecutive years with a Category 5 hurricane in it. It's also the latest Category 5 ever. Again, the previous one was on November 8th. Also tied for the 10th storm to rapidly intensify this year. There's only one other year that we've had 10 rapidly intensifying storms. Also the 4th major hurricane since October 1st. The previous record was only 2 major hurricanes since October 1st. And it's also now the 2nd Category 4 to make landfall within 50 miles, actually within 15 miles of each other within 2 weeks. And that's even more significant because it's also November. We don't get major hurricanes in November usually. This is extremely rare. So the fact that this event is happening is just unprecedented in ways that I can't even explain, besides trying to tell you those records here. Also, we're watching another tropical system that may develop into Tropical Storm Kappa here and eventually go somewhere between Panama and Nicaragua later on this week, and that'll be the 31st named storm if it does in fact go there. Now we have a lot of very warm water here, so that's definitely fueling this, because when we talk about what hurricanes need, they need warm water. They have plenty of it, they love it. Also that creates heavier rain. We're seeing heavier rain with hurricanes more often these days, and also higher storm surge. This Category 4 storm right now in Nicaragua, it's creating 15 to 20 feet worth of storm surge and 10 to 20, if not some places 30 inches of rainfall. We're also looking, if you look at the past year, just look at the facts here, at the records, you can see the water in the Atlantic is really warming up here since the early 1900s. And we can even just look at global tropical cyclones. It's not just the Atlantic Ocean, but you can see overall they are getting stronger. They're becoming major hurricanes more often than they used to be. So that's certainly the trends that we're seeing in our climate.